So maybe if you just start with, who you are, what your role is, sort of how long you've been here.
Okay, sure. So I'm Andrew Theodoulous. I'm a structural engineer. I've been working at pitt&sherry for over 2 years now. So I started as a graduate. I was lucky to get the position. I didn't have vacation work experience prior, which was something I was striving for but just didn't eventuate. And I've learnt so much since I started. I think at least the first year was really just learning. I was doing productive work, but there's so much you don't learn at uni. And now that I've kind of passed that graduate stage, I think I've become more productive. I can do more individual work without relying on others so much. Been doing some design, some review, proof engineering review. Yeah.
Cool. So can you give me an idea of a project that perhaps you're working on, and like structurally, what does that mean?
Sure. So recently I've been helping out the joint venture team with Hatch, doing some work on the Western Roads upgrade project. So that's design, and I've been working on a retaining wall around an abutment for a bridge. There's a lot of different design concepts there, but there's a lot of communication with other disciplines because it's relating to geotechnical work, it's relating to the bridges that's already existing, the civil design. So there's a lot of communication, and it's also relating to safety. There's a maintenance walkway path that we have to include in our design, and a lot of our work is trying to make sure that the person going and inspecting the bearings under the bridge is safe at all times, providing the right handrails and wall heights so that they don't fall off onto the road, which is that's been a major thing in the design constraint.
Cool. Yeah. So what's one thing you like about working at pitt&sherry?
Oh, I think when I started, I didn't know quite what I was getting into because like I said, there's so much that you don't know from uni. I didn't really know the differences between the different kinds of engineering properly, but I think I was lucky to get the one that I enjoy the most. I think it has a lot of impact on the public and really just what I've always wanted to do.
Cool. How do you think your role fits into the overall pitt&sherry? Do you have an understanding of that now? Because as you're saying, you sort of fall into this role, you happen to like it, that's all good, but do you sort of see where you fit in the overall picture now?
I think it's hard to know what everybody does, but in terms of my own role, I know that I've got my team, so we work together on projects. I've also got a role within this office, which is a safety champion role, so I have a lot to do with inducting people, training in the site safety risk assessment forms and how to fill that in. It's hard.
It is, it's a hard one. Have you got any direct involvement with the client, or is it just through the team?
I do have some direct involvement, depending on the project. I've done some projects in the past where I was entrusted with more of a project managing role, so I was really the first point of contact. I was working with the clients, I was working with the contractors, because we were doing review for the designer, was our client. At the moment I'm working directly with architects, with the contractor is our client for this design work. So yeah, I do actually get, and from the start I did get very involved in contact with our clients or our other affiliated partners. Yeah.
So if you were going to say how we are customer centric, what do you think some of the problems or issues we're solving for those customers? Why are they coming to us?
Right. Look, the main aim of all of our jobs is to achieve the client's expectations or surpass the client's expectations. It's completing the task, but also having good communication, making sure that the client is happy at all times, so that they're not missing any information and they're not in any worry or stress, and really just being efficient, finding effective solutions for the client. Those things are why we are chosen over others.
And have you had feedback from clients in terms of how that's working?
Yeah, I have many times actually. A few of the jobs I've worked in the past, at the end of the project or near the end, we've got feedback from the client saying, really just thanks. Just thank you for all that you've done. They've said that we've helped manage the project, and even their roles weren't possible without some of the things that we helped them do. So it wasn't, some of those things were not our role, but we stepped out of, not out of the boundaries, but sort of out of what was expected, to help them achieve what they also needed to do.
Fantastic. So if somebody was going to apply for a job at Pitt&sherry today and they were putting in their application, what advice would you give them about joining the company and you know, your expectations around it and what they expect to find once they're here?
Right. Look, I think the first thing that you'll notice in Pitt&sherry is the culture. When you join, you notice that there's a friendly atmosphere. People want to talk to you. People want to get involved. That's one of the things that I wasn't quite expecting. There's still a high level of professionalism, but I had an interview when I started with Matt Hyatt, and it ended up being a friendly conversation because Matt's such a friendly guy, so kind and caring, and the same thing when I started work and I got involved with my team. You know, everybody was just friendly, normal people, not kind of professional. Not only here for the job. There's a life here. Yeah.
Awesome. All right. Is there anything else in terms of where do you see yourself in sort of 5 years?
I think when I started, I wasn't sure how long people stay at one company. You know, I've heard of people after 2 years going and trying something new, but I think I get such a range of jobs that I work on here, and a lot of different kinds of experience. So I made my mind up pretty quickly that I was going to be here for a while. I think in 5 years from now, it's hard to see into the future, but at least the next 2 or 3 years, I think I'll still be with pitt&sherry. And hopefully I'll be a bit more independent, because I still, even though I'm not like I was when I first started, I still do rely on others. Things take me a little bit longer than I would want. So my aim is just to improve how I work, continue the same friendly relationships that we have with the clients, but really just become more efficient. And then possibly be able to teach others. We've got some new graduates starting, or undergraduates, and I've had a bit of experience trying to help them establish what they need to learn. But as I gain experience, I hope that I'll become better at leading